What's up, traders? Ben here with Market Meteorology. Today I'm going to run you through setting up ThinkOrSwim, which is the most popular trading software out there. If you don't have ThinkOrSwim, you can head over to TD Ameritrade and open up a free demo paper trading account with them. And that is a trial period. Once the trial period runs out, you do have to open an account and put $50 in there to keep the software, which I highly recommend. Make sure you stay through the whole video so your charts and your studies are set up correctly and you have a full understanding of how to use the software. Let's get started. All right, guys, here's what it looks like when you log into TD Ameritrade ThinkOrSwim for the first time. This is going to be the screen that you're on. All right, if you look to the left-hand side, these are your gadgets or widgets, whatever you want to call them. The first one is news. I do like to keep that up there. The next one is Trader TV, and this is pretty cool because you can actually have CNBC on here or whatnot. I don't keep it up there. I actually delete it. But if you do have it over here and you click detach, that'll let you detach it. If you have multiple monitors, you can you can pop it onto another monitor and watch CNBC or their TD Ameritrade TV channel or whatever. I had it on when Apple just hit $1 trillion just to kind of see what was going on. But I generally don't use it, so we delete it. We click that little menu button. Oh, all right. We click that little menu button right there, delete it, so that's gone. The next, it has a watch list loaded. This is actually kind of my modified one, but it brings up your default or your general watch list. And I do like to have that watch list up there. And then as we can see down here, we have a quick chart. This is cool because you can, no matter what screen you navigate to, you can keep an eye on a specific chart or stock that you're watching. But I don't use this. I delete it. Right, we click that little menu button, the top row there, because there's two. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click the plus button. And this lets you load different gadgets. Anything from Trader TV again, or Tetris, or Minesweeper, Minecraft, whatever. I'm going to load another watch list. I like to have two watch lists going at one time. And that's going to load a second one. It'll probably load the same one that you have up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to click in the middle here, and it gives us a drop down. Personal right here. These are your own personal watch lists that you've created before. As you can see, there's multiple ones. These little ones with the purple next to them are actually they are scans that you can program. I'm not going to go into that video here, but it'll constantly be scanning the market for a set of parameters that you're looking for, gap ups, gap downs, and whatnot. And if you click that, it'll load that, and it'll show you stocks that are currently fit that criteria in live time. It's pretty cool. What I'm going to do here actually is I'm going to create a watch list so you guys can see how to make one. Hit create watch list. We're going to name it vid. Actually, we're going to name it ABC1 and hit save. It brings up a blank watch list here. Underneath symbol, you click. You can put in any tickers that you want. I'm going to make this one Apple. I'm going to click again. We can make this Tesla. Next one, IQ, whatever you want. Once you hit enter, you click it, you type it in, you hit enter, it populates what you have going there. I personally care about the last. I don't care about the bid and ask, so we're going to click this little gear over here. It's kind of hard to see. I'm going to hit customize, and I'm going to remove the bid and ask. And what I'm going to put in here is volume. You might not know it now, but volume is extremely important to day traders, so double click that and it adds volume. Hit OK. And now we have volume over there. We can move this over a little bit. That's really important to have. You can sort by volume. You can sort by net change or last or whatever. But that's how you set that up. If you click on a symbol and you hit delete, it'll delete it. so you can modify the watch list that way. Normally the top one, my default one, are symbols that I trade almost daily or watch daily, maybe like Tesla, IQ, whatever. The bottom one is from a previous nightly watch list the night before that morning, just kind of what I'm planning to watch that day. Sometimes I use it for scans, morning gappers and whatnot. It's good to have two over there. The next part that we're going to go to is charts. Right up here on the top, we're going to hit charts. This is the meat and potatoes of this tutorial, guys. Make sure you listen up here. We have this blank screen here. You type in a symbol, Apple. Everyone uses Apple. Everyone loves to use Apple. And this is what a chart with no studies, no settings looks like. Yeah, maybe you could day trade like this, but I wouldn't. So we're going to go over to Style right up here. And we're going to click Style. And we're going to go to Settings. It'll bring up the general settings right here. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to hit Synchronize Crosshairs Position. This is important because when we have multiple charts up at the same time, if you're looking at a 1 minute chart of Apple, a 5 minute, and a 180, wherever your price and your time is, it's going to synchronize them across there. So you can see what you're looking at and where your pointer is on each chart at the same time. It's really helpful. Click that. The next thing that some people touch on here is overlap volume. I like to leave volume as it is there in its own separate chart, but you can click that and then it kind of brings it into the chart. I don't like it. It looks messy. So we're going to leave that alone. The next portion up here, we click price axis, and what we're going to fit here is expansion area. I like to go 10% up and 10% down. And the reason I do that's actually a choice there. The reason I do that is because as it is right now, there's not a lot of overhead or underneath room on your charts from the lowest point to the highest point of the candles. And I need that room to draw trend lines. So that's really important, okay? So we can hit apply there. This other stuff, I don't touch it. The next portion is time axis. As you can see over here, the last bar is where the chart ends. I like to expand, so this expansion area, 180 on a minute chart that's 3 hours. That's good. That gives me a lot of extra room, as you can see here, to draw any trend lines that I want to, and I can extend them as far as I want. And that is important to me. If you don't need that extra space, when you don't have this up, you can click and drag over that certain portion of the chart that you want to look at, and it'll zoom in to that portion only. Okay. Favorite time frames, I actually generally use the ones that they have here, but I'll show you how to add one. So click add time frame. You have your daily right here, and this goes all the way from max available on the stock, max data, all the way down to 1 month or year to date. We'll add an intraday one. Time interval, we'll do 90 days. So 90 days. And then within each day, we're going to have a bar. We'll make it every 2 hours. So per day, there's 4 candles there. Okay. We can click add, and then we can drag that up in between 180 and 20, so it mathematically makes sense. And now we have that. You can add any time frame you want. There's different styles, and people like to look at different things like 2-day, 3-day, 5-minute charts. Generally, I don't use that. I have the 1 day, the 5 day, and the 180 up at the same time. I do have multiple screens here. That's what I like to use. Whatever your preference as you progress as a trader, you can come in here and add extra time frames. All right, appearance. Appearance, generally, I like to fill the green candles, and it just looks better. You don't have to. And down here, we can change the background to like a different color. I don't do that. I leave it on the dark gray here because when you're staring at a screen for hours a day, darker colors are easier on your eyes. There's less strain. So that's important. I leave that as is. All I do is I fill those green candles. Equities, options, futures, and Forex, I don't touch. So we're going to hit apply to apply all those changes. And then we're going to hit OK. So now this is what our chart looks like. Now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come up here and we're going to hit studies. Right, so we hit studies and we hit edit studies. Now we're going to, the first thing that we're going to put in is our EMA lines. You can use SMA, simple moving average versus exponential moving average. I'm not going to get into the differences in this video, but you can look that up. Maybe I'll do a video on it in the future. If I do, I'll link it below. But so we're going to type in expo. Moving average exponential comes up. That's the right one. We're going to double click it. That'll be our 9. We're actually going to add a few more of these. So we're going to double click again for our 20, again for our 50, again for our 100, and again for our 200. These are generally what we see most day traders using. Now we're going to go over here. We're going to click this gear icon. Actually, we're going to leave the first one alone. That's the 9. That's fine. We're going to click this gear icon on the second one down, and we're going to change that to our 20. So you type in, you highlight the 9, type in 20, and then we're going to, this aqua is the standard color for everything. We're going to change that to pink so it's different from our 9, and we're going to hit OK. Then we're going to go down to the next one. As we can see, 20 is up there. The rest are the same. Hit the gear, and the next one is the 50. You got to highlight it. This can be finicky sometimes. 50. Okay, so we have pink. We're going to do this gold. Hit OK. Next one is the 100. Gear icon. Highlight the 9, 100. Like I said, finicky. This one is gold. We're going to make this one green. Hit OK. And the last one is going to be the 200. Generally what we see guys use is the, I mean, all of them really actually. 200. Change this one to white. Hit OK. Okay, now we can apply those. The next one that we're going to do is the VWAP, or the volume weighted average price. I'm not going to define that in this video. It is, we see a lot of day traders use it. It's good to use. I suggest it. So we go into VWAP, we hit that gear icon, we go into the options. The first thing that we're going to do is we want to make this look different than the EMAs that we're using or the SMAs that you're using, and hit style. We're going to make it this middle dashed line, and we're going to make it that that purple pink neon color. Now we're going to go to the upper band right here. We're going to do the same thing, make it that dashed line, and we're going to change it to the same color. And the lower band, we're going to make it the dashed line and the same color again. And hit OK. And hit apply. Okay. And now we're going to add our bottom studies that'll go below volume. The common ones that we see guys use are RSI. Right. And the next one is going to be MACD. You can put in whatever studies that you want, that you've researched. Make sure you research them. These are generally probably the most common ones that we see people using. So this is my suggestion. All right. Hit apply, hit OK. That's going to load that. We don't see the VWAP here because we're at the 180. Let's go to the 1 day, right? So here we have our upper, middle, and bottom VWAP bands. And then are 200, 150, 20, and 9 EMAs. And as we can see, I mean, these are, we see bounces here. This is generally what guys use. They cross over, bouncing at that 200. This is how I suggest you set up your charts, okay? Now, what you need to do is come up here and hit style, hit save style. ABC 1, 2, 3, name it whatever you want. Check this box, include patterns and study sets. So everything that you've done, from filling in the candles to the time expansions and everything, as well as your studies, is going to be saved here, because even though it loads your defaults every time you log in or your last settings, sometimes it doesn't happen, and it's a kind of a pain to set up from scratch. So hit save, make sure that box is checked, and now we're saved. So no matter what happens, we can always load this style. Okay. What I also suggest doing as far as this stuff goes, just come up here, this setup, this gear icon up in the upper right hand corner, click save workspace as, and we'll do ABC 1, 2, 3. So now all of your hard work is set up and saved no matter what. Right now, as we see up here, right, this little portion here, okay, this little chain or symbol link, whatever, this is a great tool. You can make it whatever color you want, red. Now, if we want to link red to red on the watch list, right, so now if I click IQ down here, it's automatically going to change that chart. That's great. Okay, so colors always link to each other, right? Now, up here is your boxes for multiple screens. You can have as many as you want on one. On my main screen, I don't go more than 2. I don't want to be watching two stocks, more than 2 stocks at a time. So the second one right here, we'll link that to the yellow watch list. Bam. Now, as we see, this is the original chart settings. We just go up to here to style, load style, ABC 1, 2, 3, and now we're loaded, and it's great. It doesn't get much better than that. As far as multiple screens, so if you have multiple monitors, which is a suggestion if you're going to be day trading, you can detach windows up here, right? And you can move this one to like a different screen if you have a left, right, or above, or wherever. And you can do that as many times as you want. Generally on my second monitor, I have 4 guys, right? On my main screen back here, I have the 1 minute charts up. And so red's on the left, yellow's on the right. I'll do this same way, right? And I'll load a 5 minute chart. Got to load the style again. And the 180, right? So now what I have here is the 1 minute here. I'm watching that. And then I can look at the 5 minute and I can look at my 180 to see previous support and resistance levels and trends and price points at the same time. I don't have to go clicking through. It's really helpful. As we can see here, since the crosshairs are linked, right, this so right here, this will show us, look at the 180 down there, down at the bottom now. That's where my cursor is on the 1 minute. As the same thing with the 5. So it's really cool to be able to look and see what's what and where everything is and match it up. I highly suggest that. Having multiple monitors, having the crosshairs linked is great. So that's the linkage, okay? The next most important thing here is up. Make sure you pay attention to this because I made this mistake and it cost me some money when I was first starting out. Right here, real-time data, okay? When you first go in, it's going to say 20 minutes delayed. What you have to do, or what you can do, is click this support chat button. Right? You can either do live support, create a support request, or you can call them. Their phone number is listed on their website, right? Or when you in your login screen, call them or create a support request if your data is not real time, and just ask them to make it real time, and they'll make it real time. They'll give you that that real time access, which is imperative. You need that whether you're trading, actually executing your trades on TD Ameritrade, ThinkOrSwim, or other, TEFs or whatever, TradeNet, Short Trader, whoever. Okay. The last thing that I'm going to go over is over here on the right side of each chart and every chart, however many you have up, you have these buttons right here. Trade if you're actually trading, times and shares. This displays what is called the tape. Every single time a share or shares is bought and sold, it displays what it was bought and or sold for, the time that it was done, how much it costs, the amount of shares. That's something good that you can follow. Active trader, that's again, you can set this up for trading. I'm not going to get into that right now. Big button, same deal. Level 2. This is important. You need to learn this. There's videos out there, and I'll be doing a video myself on how to read this. This is important, as we can see the bid and the ask. That's important because if you're buying and or selling at market value, the difference between these is called the spread, and that can be a big difference. And you look at the price up here, and it's not what's going there. So when you hit that market button, you can get a drastically different price. It's really important to pay attention to that. Make sure you educate yourself. Again, this is just a video to set up your charting software. I'm not getting into the nitty-gritty on all the other details. But and then live news, this is about that specific stock. So this is just about IQ. So when you go in on a morning gapper and you look at the news and you see that there's no news, that usually means that it's being manipulated or pumped up, pump and dump, whatever. So just be wary. Look for news. If it's good news and the stock is going up, that's a good indicator. And there you have it. That's the basics of setting up your ThinkOrSwim charting software. If you have any questions, make sure you leave me a comment below and I'll get back to you. If you use different studies, also leave a comment below and let everyone know what you're using and why you use it. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I'm going to be bringing you guys a lot more content in the future, tips, tricks, tutorials, and basics, as well as reviewing various day trading courses out there, letting you guys know which ones I think are worth the initial investment that you have to pay for it. So good luck trading, stay green, and I'll catch you on the next one.